As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I am joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology Meerut, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, in association with the African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organize this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technology towards self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is 79th edition of the webinar series, 18th June 2022. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency the Secretary General ARDO, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agri-Business and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing, let me welcome our guest speakers of today's webinar. To begin with, Dr. Rethinam, former Executive Director, Asian Pacific Coconut Community, Jakarta, Indonesia, and former Chairman, Coconut Development Board, Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. Next is Dr. V. Krishnakumar. He will be joining after the Dr. Rethinam's talk. He is former Principal Scientist, Agronomy, Head ICAR-CPCRI, Regional Station, Kayamkulam. Dear participants, I wish to inform that under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, have organized 78 lectures on various important topics. We run two webinar series. One is on international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India in association with the ARDO on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. On Thursday, the university runs a national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022 on every Thursday at 11 a.m. And under this webinar series, 78 lectures so far on various topics. Let me list out the title only. Open Technologies to Provision Simple and Economical IT Infrastructure. A roadmap for students using free and open source software and reaching goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Open source software and industrial IoTs for SMEs. Free and open source software adoption and business models. Open data platform for smart digital government. Technology imperatives, make in India for self-reliance. Edge artificial intelligence. Data governance for self-reliant India. Digital India transforming governance and society. India's email service, citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages. Ecosystem architecture for digital transformation. Education system, cyber critical infrastructure. Seizing opportunity in open innovation and value creation network in digital world for self-reliant economy. Ensuring food safety and compliance through technology. Digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India. Technology investment in agricultural value chain, role of foreign direct investment. This was given by Dr. Dhanendra Kumar, IAS retired, former Chairman Competition Commission of India, and also former Executive Director, World Bank. Entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways. Rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance. The era of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0, Indo-German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis, and opportunities. Role of artificial intelligence in healthcare, current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research, digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, health informatics network value chain, e-health systems and beyond, leveraging emerging technology for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chains, unleash the citizen development for enterprise software development, e-governance models towards sustained quality service to citizen backed by technology. Indian MSME to start adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship accelerator program, building public digital platform using microservices and APIs, health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning, health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, interface between machine learning and health informatics. Health informatics network value chain, importance of social medicine and community health in the times of health emergency. Gravity filter, a simple low-cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India. Open source GovTech startups empowering growth with innovation. Digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities. National Digital Twine Program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure. Industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed Collab CAD, 3D CAD, and PLM software from National Informatics Center. Mass serialization and anti-counterfeiting solutions to fight illicit trade. Cybersecurity, risk, challenges, and solutions. Intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. In new internet IPv6 root server, toward Atmanirbhar interconnected Bharat. Indian startup reflections and possible policy interventions needed for scaling up to Gram Panchayat. Blockchain and crypto for digital assets platform, pathways for global trade. Robot as a service, leverage technology to solve enterprise challenges. Space startups, connecting to international markets with emerging business models. Emerging technologies for future vision. Vivekananda Secondary Education and Skills Development Mega Project, its potential impact on rural entrepreneurship and the rural economy in India. Sports Grail, a digital sports media platform and prospects of Indian sports industry sustainability model at global level. Pharma 4.0, Industry 4.0 applications to pharmaceutical manufacturing, a path to digital transformation. Accelerate and scale nonlinear growth through partner ecosystems. Technological renaissance and the human capital, a perspective. Health informatics network value chain, medical outreach and challenges and potential. Beyond COVID-19, revitalizing micro and small enterprises. Project management essentials, launchpad for future CEOs and startup founders beyond. Society 5.0, a new society beyond Industry 4.0 and post-COVID-19. Smart village, oblique community, and then African ICT, oblique IoT lessons. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower for self-reliance. Pragmatic ways for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst. Transforming India through relevant education and vocational training. Digital economy in simplifying citizen life. Online learning during the pandemic and its future. Smart microeconomic zones, pathways for self-reliance at village level. Crime prediction support system. Knowledge management for self-development partnership to achieve the sustainable development goals of UN and implementing the Agenda 2030. Millet value chain from IoT to blockchain, a traceability roadmap. Aspirational district program in left-wing extremism affected districts, a successful model of data-driven governance. Digital agriculture supply chain and trading hub, a geo-economic perspective. Market-driven agriculture, need for development of crop-specific strategies at block level. A open agri network to unlock the $1 trillion plus potential of Indian agriculture with smallholder farmer, developing rural entrepreneurship to ensure doubling of farmers' income, leveraging the power of convergence through connecting the dots, agri-startups, agri-entrepreneurs, and rural innovators. Agronomy plus AI is equal to precision farming. Doubling farmers' income, imperative of plant health informatics network, developing commercial breadfruit value chain to help farmers reach high-value markets. Commodity value chain creation through agri-network and agri-artificial intelligence. Farm to Plate, a one-stop agri-tech platform to simplify supply chain and e-commerce needs of food and perishable commodities. Health Informatics Network Value Chain, National Animal Disease Reporting System, NADRS 2012 and beyond. AI, Artificial Intelligence and Metaverse, Frontiers in Workspace. Today is the 79th edition of this very important webinar series, which will be addressed by the keynote speaker, Dr. Rethinam, former chairman, Coconut Development Board, and guest speaker, Dr. V. Krishnakumar, former principal scientist of CPCRI, on the very important topic, coconut value chain challenges, transforming into opportunities. Atmanirbhar Bharat is the road ahead. It is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, of making India a self-reliant nation, rested on 5 pillars, intent, 5 I's, intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation, and is based on 5 pillars, quantum jump in economy, and infrastructure, one that represents modern India, and systems 21st century technology driven and vibrant demography and demand, whereby the strength of our demand and the supply chain should be utilized to full capacity. And in the third tranche of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, Government of India has released 1.5 lakh crore as the booster, which included 1 lakh crore to agricultural cooperative societies and farmer produce organization and startups for boosting farm gate infrastructure. About 10,000 crores for formalization of micro-food enterprises and following cluster-based farming approach. Vocal for local to make it global. India has got about 63 million MSMEs or micro and small businesses. They needed to find a place in the space vacated by China due to COVID-19 pandemic. The reforms announced have been systematic, planned, integrated, and interconnected and futuristic for creating strong enterprises generating employment. Agriculture sector is the foundation of Indian economy. India lives in villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhave said that India is largely an agricultural country and a country of villages having more than 6.25 lakhs villages. And at present, the agricultural livelihoods are severely impacted world over as a result of anthropogenic global warming and climate change. And climate change has both direct and indirect effects on agricultural productivity, including changing rainfall patterns, severe droughts, flooding, and changes in the geographical redistribution of pests and diseases. And according to the report of Council on Energy, Environment and Water, based on 2011 census of India, they have claimed that 463 districts of India, which are home to 968 million people, are extremely vulnerable to climate events. 463 districts out of 715 districts of India. Farmers of India are facing multidimensional problems, price fluctuation, debt, and lack of infrastructure and weather. It has got about something like 14.5 crore operational holdings, of which 85% farmers are having small and marginal operational holding. Farmer needs timely, location-specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production, risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. Many national level programs, be it Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, and Stand Up India programs have faced operational difficulties for its impact at the farmer level or farm level. Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally powered society. And it has got a major driving force for the budding entrepreneurs and a key contributor for the phenomenal growth IT-enabled society. And on February 19, on 20th February 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has published a report titled India's $1 trillion Digital Opportunity in association with McKinsey and Company. The report has identified 3 digital themes, if scaled up nationally, can accelerate India's progress in 9 key areas. Digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world. 10 emerging technologies are making impact: artificial intelligence, 5G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, artificial augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum computing. India has got 3 frameworks: Agriculture 4.0, Industry 4.0, and Society 5.0. And also, the government has come out with a strategic plan for the next 25 years to achieve New India, that is titled Amrit Kaal, led up to at 100. It has got its vision. They are complementing the macroeconomic level, focus with a microeconomic level, and all-inclusive welfare focus, promoting digital economy and fintech, technology-enabled development, energy transition, and climate action, and relying on virtuous cycle starting from private investment with public capital investment, helping to crowd in private investment. And sustainable development goals of UN and the Agenda 2030 that gives the future we want: 17 sustainable development goals and 169 targets to be achieved. Agriculture value chain. The value chain development has a positive impact on employment in both rural and urban areas, off-farm processing and income diversification, offers market access to smallholders, and creates a business linkage to small and medium enterprises. This is from the UNIDO report of 2009, Agro Value Chain Analysis and Development. It says positive impact on employment in both rural and urban areas. The salient characteristic of a value chain, it says, bring all the stakeholders engaged in the production system on a common platform to contribute their best while ensuring fair deal and transparency. Includes all the input suppliers, technology delivering agencies, scientists indirectly engaged in developing appropriate technologies, and extension officers who are involved in capacity building and providing various services to farmers, and consist of agencies like financial institution and market information centers. An agriculture value chain is a set of linked activities that work to add value to a produce, which consist of actors and actions that improve a produce while linking commodity producers to processes and markets. Digital platforms are changing who participates in the global value chain and unveiling unlimited opportunities for developing economies and micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. According to India's agriculture export policy 2018, India strives to double India's share in world agri export, and India therefore needs to integrate with global value chain at the earliest. It necessarily entails the need to comply with international standards and quality control norms. I would like to quote from some published documents, papers. There is one from the paper written by the guest speaker, Dr. Krishnakumar, and the title, Upgrading a Coconut Value Chain, Empirical Evidence from North Kerala. It is a multi-authors paper. It was published in 2019 in the International Journal of Innovative Horticulture. There is a need to empower the coconut farmer to overcome structural constraints of the sector in terms of fragmented holdings, non-uniform levels of knowledge, skill and resources, and prevalence of non-transparent and multi-node marketing channels to become globally competitive. Utility of a value chain framework in this regard was tested under the World Bank assisted National Agriculture Innovation Project on Value Chain in Coconut, which was implemented in Kasaragod district of Kerala. This studies establishes a scope for enhancing coconut value chain productivity through adoption of improved production technologies, better coordination in procurement, community level processing, and thus a benchmark for extension strategies having a value chain productive. Coconut production is not for competitive, thereby discouraging the farmers to continue venturing into coconut farming. This is another article published in International Journal of Fruit Science. Turning value chain challenges into business opportunities. It is another article from the Center for Technology in Agriculture and Rural Development and European Union and European Commission and for ACP countries. It talks about a complete value chain and stakeholder analysis enables understanding of price fluctuation, consumer preferences, traders, processes requirements, market mechanism, how best to negotiate and bargain, and sensitivity around the efficiency and costs of production, quality management, timely supply, collaboration, and coordination of chain activities and involvement in policy development and advocacy. Coconut value chain challenges, transforming into opportunities. Today's talk, I would like to inform the audience some important inputs. Constraints in coconut value chain, a framework for analysis using response priority index. It is an article published from the authors from Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. India, with the rich biodiversity of coconut, is the largest producer with 33.02% share or 22,167 million nuts of the world's production. Even though it leads in area, production and productivity, farmers were facing many problems in production and marketing of coconut. Hence, a clear understanding on problems from production to marketing with the involvement of various stakeholders is required. Constraints faced by the coconut farmers, constraints faced by the farmers in marketing of coconut, constraints faced by market intermediaries, constraints faced by the processes include. And also in another comprehensive study on the issue of coconut production in Karnataka, it talks about that coconut area, about 90% comes from southern states, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. The main reasons for not ensuring coconut crops are, they are highlighting, farmers are not interested, followed by a lack of awareness, don't know policy information, and no trust on insurance companies. And this was published in the month of February 2019. And this is from Institute for Social and Economic Change, Bangalore. According to the synopsis of the keynote speaker, I would like to give some salient points. The coconut industry, which was traditionally relying on copra and coconut oil, and to some extent coir and coir products, is passing through tremendous transformation towards product diversification, low volume, high value product development by product utilization, as well as more importantly as a health and functional drink both in the coconut cultivating and non-cultivating regions of the world. However, relatively no productivity at farm level combined with low farm gate prices in several major producing countries, especially the Philippines and India, is a major long-term weakness of the industry. Unless the industry can find ways to increase farmer income through higher nut prices and better yield, many more farmers may leave the industry. It is a warning by the keynote speaker. The local industry could realistically raise the value added by investing in the manufacture of commercially proven higher value products through integrated processing of the kernel and full utilization of the husk fiber and pitch for finished fiber and pith for finished products and the shell. Goal for the coconut industry should be to become an internationally competitive and sustainable coconut industry. The goal for the coconut industry should be to become an internationally competitive and sustainable coconut industry. A coconut global value chain is at a critical juncture, characterized by a rapidly growing demand in global markets and a stagnant supply base in danger of collapse in origin countries. Let me repeat once again. Coconut global value chain is at a critical juncture, characterized by a rapidly growing demand in global markets and a stagnant supply base in danger of collapse of origin countries. Market demand is rising for traditional and non-traditional coconut products across the three chain strands. Very important chain strands. Coconut food chain, coconut sports drink chain, coconut chemical chain, coconut coir chain, coconut activated carbon chain, coconut byproducts value chain. It is from a report from the Duke University 2016 titled Connecting to the World Market Through Regional Value Chain, Partnership Opportunities in Coconut Value Chain for the Small Caribbean Economies. It's relevant. With this background, let us now turn to the address by our keynote speaker, Dr. P. Rethinam, former Executive Director, Asian and Pacific Coconut Community, Jakarta and Indonesia, and former Chairman, Coconut Development Board, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. Next, our guest speaker, Dr. V. Krishnakumar, former Principal Scientist Agronomy, Head ICAR-CPCRI Regional Station, Kayamkulam, Kerala. And a very important topic, coconut value chain challenges transforming into opportunities. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching our telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India or youtube.com/Shobhit University in or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit University for motivating them to get inspired to work in the area of coconut value chain by establishing coconut startups at the places of production. Let me introduce our guest speaker to the audience, Mr. Manish. Mr. Manish, can you put the profile? Dr. P. Rethinam, a distinguished plantation crop management specialist, born on 1st July 1942 in Madurai, Tamil Nadu, earned his graduation and post-graduation in agriculture from Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. He started his career as research assistant in 1963, assistant lecturer, assistant professor up to 1976 at Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, and then joined Agricultural Research Service in ICAR in 1976. He became project coordinator PALMS in 1982, and he was instrumental for release of coconut hybrids for the first time in Indian history and developed coconut-based farming systems for coconut growing states. Dr. P. Rethinam had greatly contributed in containing root wilt disease of coconut in Kerala and Tamil Nadu and Thatipaka disease in Andhra Pradesh. He was selected as Assistant Director General Plantation Crops ICAR in New Delhi in 1988 and was coordinating the research on plantation crops, medicinal and aromatic crops, and betel vine. He introduced the concept of integrated oil palm as a smallholder crop and established the National Research Center for Oil Palm at Padavegi, Andhra Pradesh, with all infrastructure facilities in a short time. He was also instrumental in setting up the oil palm hybrid seeds gardens in the country and the technology mission on oil seeds and pulses, TMOP, in 3 states. In 2001, Dr. Rethinam was appointed as the chairman, Coconut Development Board, Kochi, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, and he popularized tender coconut water packaging and value addition in coconut. As the executive director of Asia and Pacific Coconut Community, comprising of 15 member countries, since 9 January 2002, his contribution to the value addition of coconut, like promoting tender coconut water, virgin coconut oil, various niche products of coconut, coconut biodiesel, etc., are well known in the Asia Pacific countries. He served in many national and international committees as chairman and vice president of our Bureau of Development of Research on Tropical Perennial Oil Crops, BUROTROP, and also member of Cogent Steering Committee. Dr. Rethinam has published 215 articles, co-edited 2 volumes of books on recent advances in plantation crops, edited 37 books and many technical bulletins, APCC proceedings, Cocoa Tech proceedings, Noni search proceedings and reports, DVDs, CDs of APCC intellectual databases, and etc. He was the team leader for the FAO project for management of Waligama wilt disease of coconut in Sri Lanka. He receives lot of awards and medal and lifetime achievement award in plantation crops, Kalpa Vriksha Award, Dr. M.H. Harikauda National Award, Udayan India Shivashakti Lifetime Achievement Award, AIPB Achievement Award, Lifetime Achievement Award for Horticulture Research and Development, Plantation Crops, and International Coconut Community, earlier known as Asian Pacific Coconut Community, Jakarta, honored Dr. P. Rethinam for his contribution made in coconut at the 50th anniversary celebration held in Manila, the Philippines. And ASRP Spices honored him for his outstanding contribution to the research and development of spices and plantation crop in India at its 30th annual workshop held at Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore, November 2019. Dr. Rethinam is a founder and president of the Society for Promotion of Oil Palm Research and Development, fellow of Horticultural Society of India, Indian Society for Plantation Crops, Indian Society for Plant Genetic Resources, International Society for Noni Science and Association for Improvement in Production and Utilization of Banana, Association for Improvement in Production and Utilization of Banana, and life member of National Academy of Biological Sciences. With this introduction, let me invite Dr. P. Rethinam to deliver his keynote address on coconut value chain challenges transforming into opportunities. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for a lavish introduction. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to be with you all to present on the coconut value chain challenges and transforming into opportunities.
Can you come out from the Mr. Manish? Can you come out from this one? His face is not coming properly. Mr. Manish, just 1 minute, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Mr. Manish, your profile is visible, not your photograph. Hello. Hello. Please speak. Meanwhile, he will adjust. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
I honor dignitaries watching this webinar and my fellow colleagues, Professor Moni, the architect who has organized this. I welcome you all for this short journey on the coconut value chain challenges, transforming into opportunities. It will be presented by 2 people, mine as well as Dr. Krishnakumar. Krishnakumar will be concentrating more on the value chain, and I will be concentrating more on the production, processing, and opportunities for making the value chains, hundreds of value chains. Now, our thanks to the divine providence which made this tree well worthy of title of king of vegetables, with its sap, fruits, leaves, stem, roots, pods to feed and appease, shelter, cure, and carry mankind. That is Jose Maria's 1908 statement. Now, a value chain is a business model which has been explained very nicely by Professor Moni. So I will pass through. It's a 5 primary value chain pillars. Coconut as primarily a smallholder crop with a recorded history of cultivation going back more than 4,000 years, thriving throughout the humid tropic countries, home gardens with a few coconut palms. Provide food, water, sap, drink, all that I have said. The traditional medicines and ritual purpose. Attractive landscaping, shade, both for people and for intercrops. Every part of it is utilized. Coconut value-added products like Nira, sap, palm sugar, palm wine, desiccated coconut, coconut milk, milk powder, virgin coconut oil, and byproducts such as kayar, kayar fiber, kayar ropes, kayar mattresses, rubberized kayar floor, wet carpets, all activated carbon, cell powder, geotextile, cell-based ornamentals, and etc. It's for eco-friendly, environmentally sustainable. Coconut is grown in more than 93 countries in the world. The world area is 12.258 million hectares. And in ICC community countries are having the major share, 87% of area and 86%.
Sir, 1 minute. Your screen is not coming. Hello. Just 1 minute. I'm contacting Mr. Manish. Are you able to see your screen?
The background of my biodata is still.
Yeah. That's just wait. Just wait. Let me. Just wait. Just wait. Okay, good.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. I resume. Shall I continue? Hello. Shall I continue? Is it okay?
Please, fine.
Okay. Next. Now, if you see the world production of the 9 major vegetable oils, this very specifically I put it to show that there are many oils like palm oil, soybean, and rapeseed which are playing a major role. Coconut, even though it is a very prestigious oil, lauric oil, and all that, the contribution to the vegetable oil pool is only 1.71% of the share. Now, coconut, more than a vegetable oil, many value-added products for human use, health, wealth, wellness, and livelihood security is possible. Now, the area of production world area has considerably increased more than 2.5 times. APCC countries also similarly, and the production has increased. But the productivity, if you see, still, you look at 1969 and 2014 or even today, we are still not able to reach, except to some countries, more than 1 ton copra. This is our productivity increase is the prime thing which has to be addressed too. Again, this also next. Now you see in our India also the 1950-51, 626,000 hectares were there. Now we are having more than 2,100,000, 73,000 hectares. The production is almost 6 times. The productivity is just 2 times or even less than 2 times. Even though in states like Tamil Nadu and all, we produce more, but then our productivity is still has to go. Next. You now a coconut tree giving 12 bunches, even 10 nuts each per bunch, 120 nuts per year has to be come. But then today our average is 35 to 37 nuts. That's a very pitiable condition. More so in the Pacific countries, more so in the African countries. So it is all the productivity increase which makes the coconut industry competitive. That is why people started saying that the coconut industry is a sunset industry. And the time at which I joined as a chairman as well as an executive director. But I tried to say that coconut is always a sunrise industry. It has ample opportunity to project itself. That's it which you are now will be seeing it. The export product, if you see the world export, it's going on increasing slowly. Next. The coconut product, coir product, right from beginning for 100 years, coir product slowly. India and Sri Lanka occupy the major place in the coir product export. Now, if you come to the price levels, coconut price may be less, but the coconut water price is 1,000 US dollar per ton. Like that vinegar is 4,000. Natati cocoa is 1,000. Like desiccated coconut, this coconut milk powder around 3,800. So the value added product has got a higher mark price, and that is why it will be more profitable than consuming as a coconut to copra and coconut oil and then coconut milk next, which we have to. This what again I have highlighted. You can go this. Now, Kaya 5, you can see the last 5 years, a steady, almost a slight decline. Otherwise, it's a steady increase and steadily it has a market. But only 35% of the coconut husk is used in India and less in other countries. If only we are able to make the coconut husk to doubling, 36 to 35 to 70, definitely our kaya industry will perform better and we will earn more because people like to have more of the natural fibers, natural materials rather than the artificial plastic material. Next. The import-export data of India, if you see, from 2007 I have given, it is 690, but it has now reached 20 and 22,000 rupees million rupees, and import we are importing even
जहाँ हम 4 भाई होते हैं वैसे ही मजा आ जाता भाई
क्या हो गया भाई?
अब तो उससे मजा लेके हम कहीं भी बैठे हो तो मजा ही आ रहा था
क्या मैंने कुछ नहीं करा बे
Mr. Manish, can you mute? Mr. Manish, can you mute? Just 1 minute. Okay, yeah, please.
Okay, so our export is going up. Now, recently the figure is more than 23,000 million rupees, and then the import is about 3,000 and odd because the coconut oil, even the desiccated coconut, we import for export. So that is the easy way of getting it done. Next. Now, the coconut situation, if you see, does not present a rosy picture, as you also rightly pointed out. Productivity is very low, mostly rainfed, except with Tamil Nadu and certain parts of Karnataka, mostly rainfed. The irrigated crop gives more yield. 2/3 of old senile. This is going on repeating that 2/3 is old senile because the West Coast or East Coast or African, the old material is going on there. Inadequate input management, not much diversification of coconut, single monocrop and coconut-based farming systems are only recently being adopted and not fully. Inadequate farm level processing, practically zero, but now the farmers producer organization introduced that's not a good. A few processing technologies adopted and product diversification is very low. Now, very limited value added products. Now you see that more than 100 products are being exported from Philippines. If you see our product in India, it is less. Byproduct utilization also, particularly in Asia Pacific countries, very inadequate market promotional activities. This, as rightly pointed out by Professor, that market research, market survey, not adhering to the quality standard, that brand name, packaging, labeling, etc. are inadequate, and inadequate awareness of the health benefit. Still, we say that coconut is bad for health, coconut oil should not be consumed. Even Indian doctors, even Kerala doctors used to say it is a pity on them, part of them, to not to understand the real merit of the case. How to make the coconut industry globally competitive? Productivity increase, group or cluster farming, promote farm level processing, product diversification, value addition, developing niche product.
Dr. Rathnam, can you just adjust your camera? That can you slightly go up? Okay, good.
Okay. More thrust on the farm market promotional activities and market survey, market research. Next. Brand. Okay. Now you see the condition of the coconut situation under the normal ecological condition. We are moderate. We are not even reaching good or very good or excellent. You know, a coconut tree can yield more than 400 nuts per year. So if that is the case, the more than 5 tons or 6 tons of oil can be produced or many value-added product. But then our condition is very bad. Next. The yield gap also is very high. With that 450 nuts, we can get 13.84 tons of copra, but so the attained yield is 6 tons. So still there is a gap of another 7 of copra yield to be increased. Yes, next. For which the integrated approach to improve the productivity, rejuvenation, replanting, underplanting, consolidation of the plantation holdings, production, supply of high-yielding varieties and hybrid. This is a very, very weak point even today. Mother palm selection, locally available hybrids, high-yielding varieties, nut selection, community nursery, seedling. All this can form a value chain. That is right from mother palm selection to the best seedling. Next. So when we give the best seedling, then the integrated approach, the coconut or oil palm or anything, very well respond to the input management. Today you give, third year you get the full response, and every year you get 1/3 response. So integrated drought management, mixed cropping, multiple cropping, effective organic recycling and residue management. Even you can reduce more than 1/3 of the inorganic fertilizer use. More than that, it built up the resistance, soil health is improved, and all that. So there are some invasive diseases now and then coming and bothering that. There are certain diseases which are very continuous, but there are efficient and regular harvesting, which is not there, particularly in the Pacific countries. I have visited some of the, when I was as a ED. The coconut falls, coconut grows, and the coconut forest is seen rather than a coconut plantation. So the harvesting is a problem. They are not doing the monthly one harvest or even 2 monthly one harvest. So most of the seeds are wasted by not regular harvesting. Next. So next. Now you see do we have varieties? Yes, definitely we have released varieties which can give copra yield of 4 tons and nut yield of 150, 100, and even 200 nuts. There are farmers in this country, in India, having 200 nuts, 150 nuts. So there are varieties, but then the availability of the quality planting material is difficult. Same way, many Indonesian hybrids, Philippine hybrids, next, Ivory Coast, there are many places, Malaysia and all that. We have even recently released many varieties, hybrids, and which are even both for copra and tender nut. But these things, when we ask that how many seedlings you can give, maybe 200, 300 seedlings per farm, that is itself with a great recommendation. This is a very, very weak point in the country. Production of the quality planting material. 15 million seedlings are annual requirement, which was made some years back, but today it may be more. But then hardly we produce even 5 million, and the rest goes for the public market. Whatever the coconut purchased in this market, germinated, seedling raised, and these seedlings are sold in the market. So these are all the varieties, very fancy. We have 28 varieties and hybrids in this country, but then our primary job is the biotechnology. Still, we are only in the infant stage. Embryo culture, we have technique, we have standardized. Bloomule culture, we have standardized. Biotechnology is still a nightmare. Maybe it may take years together, though we climb. Then you see the nutrient removal of the coconut tree per hectare, the bottom of the removal. But then what we are doing, what is it's less. So the recommended fertilizer schedule itself, based on the leaf test soil analysis, can be made next. Even this fertilizer have to be. But the only one thing that integrated approach to increase the productivity is coconut-based cropping or farming system. You raise intercrop, mixed crop, multiple crop, multi-story crop, mixed farming. So in every aspect of it, you can go on increasing. One is on the income of the coconut land, and another is the coconut garden itself. The coconut productivity is also increased. So these are all some of the crops which I have enumerated, which have been tested, which have been proved, which are doing well under the coconut and helping the coconut also to give more. And perennial cropping system in the coconut, CPCRI has done wonderful work for years before, and some of the farmers are taking multi-story, black pepper, cocoa, pineapple, and all that. Now, plebine, rambutan, lychee, and all that also are grown in that. So, these are some of the annual crops, intercrops. Yes, next. Mixed cropping. The coconut not only use its land for its own production, but also share the land very generously to the other crops. 1.8-meter radius, if you are able to maintain with the fertilizer, with irrigation and all the input management, the rest of the space we can do the other farming. So these are all some of the coconut-based. Next. Cultivation of the three more crops having the different morphology, multi-storied cropping system. Now some farmers, enthusiastic farmers, adopting even in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, this multi-storied cropping system, which is highly profitable. And mixed farming system is another one, which keeps the man engaged, the farm labor engaged throughout 365 days, and then getting everyday income through milk and for manure and for organic recycling and all that. Now, these are all the things that we have given, so many combinations we have given, and these combinations have been tested in the coordinated program even during my tenure as a coordinator, even after my tenure, so many. Throughout India we have tested, and with that only we are giving that these are the cropping system, multi-crop system, doubling the income of farmers, employment generation, through organic recycling, reduce the inorganic fertilizer. These are all possible. This is the crop. Next. Okay. Fish culture is also possible in the coconut garden. You know, in the northeast, there are fish pond will be there, coconut will be there, and then around. So fish culture come coconut is also can be. So animal husbandry can always mixed with. So these are all the ways which increase the income of the farmer continuously. The organic, now people talk about organic farming. It paves the way for organic recycling residues. The ability to reduce organic fertilizer to that. So organic farming, the problem is the organic coconut is not getting a separate price. It's all together. So the health conscious people like to have, but the vendors will have more price than the producers. So organic cultivation is possible with that. If every farmer is having a cow or cattle or a buffalo, then the cow dung and the urine with recycled with the organic waste which are feeding to the animal and the organic waste, nearly 16 tons of organic material per hectare per year is available, and that can be recycled into the field. So these are some of the. Now even the earthworm culture we can grow, we can multiply in our own field, and then we can, even the one coconut farmer in Vijayawada, he is an industrialist to turn into the coconut farmer, produce the vermicompost in the coconut basin itself, the coconut vermicompost utilized by coconut, 50 rupees worth of coconut vermicompost he is selling out. So these are all the solid examples that which we can. Sri Lanka has done a very good example of the growing Gliricidia in the coconut garden, producing energy, and then the Gliricidia leaves as a manure. So fertility to fertilizer, fodder, and fuel. This is very well worked program. Drought tolerant also we have done because the in Kerala, like West Coast, if you take the 3 or 4 months drought period, drastically affect. There is no water. Water is not possible. But then management or soil moisture conservation through mulching are possible. Water harvesting, drip irrigation, fertigation, these are all now in vogue. Next. So these are all some of the things that we can, maybe old, but then as recently Tamban yesterday in the Facebook has said, coconut cultivation is an old traditional method, still following. Even with that, we are able to get more yield. Nursery, husk burial is one thing that once in 2 years you are going to bury the husk which you are generating from your own farm. That will be a good material, not only for conservation of moisture, but also for supplying the nutrient. Deep the laterite soils, this is being done by the Kerala farmers. So husk burial in the trenches and raising the many crops is also possible. Next, the Kayar mulching, once the Kayar dust was heaped on the road, causing nuisance in the road, but now Kayar has become a very costly material, and every bit of Kayar pith is used, either as a mulch, as a Kayar briquette, or Kayar water. Okay. Water harvesting has to be done wherever it is possible. So per drop, more biomass is possible, and the per drop, more efficient management of nutrient utilization is also possible. So now, previous. The Growtron, the automatic farm. Now, recently, this technology has developed, and some companies are propagating this for coconut farm, for many other crop. So, this everything can be automized. So, this is a 360-degree precision farming ecosystem powered by Growtron. It is available in the country, and like this, many other companies also have come and this is. Now, harvesting was a problem that the Coconut Development Board trained the people, the coconut friends of coconut, and then the girls, boys, and unemployed youth, even employed youth, their rickshaw driver, auto rickshaw driver can go for morning 2 hours to coconut harvest. After that, he can go like that. This has also been developed. Farm level processing in the one area which is still we are not able to concentrate. If we concentrate, next. The community, even you have your own plantation individually, but a community, society, farmers adapt to the packages for increasing the productivity, pool all the material, and instead of selling one coconut, you divide into 4 parts. As a coconut, husk, meat, shell, part. Then the husk can go for the fiber industry, kayar industry, kayar pith, grow back, and all that can. Meat can go for various form things, which is cell can go for this. Dryer, you can also have it. It is all possible with the farmers producer organization. It can go. So farm level processing is a must, and it has to be taken care of. Emerging new applications of the many of us are aware that organic food, functional drink, virgin coconut oil, cosmeceutical, oleoceutical, biofuel, biolubricant, and premium grade monolaurin. Monolaurin is a lauric acid. So the growth of functional food market is growing 7 to 8%, and now it is a little more. So the market is very great for functional food. Coconut as a functional food can greatly serve to the whole world. Next. Main food components obtained from coconut. Professor Moni also was mentioning about the food components. Nut water, inflorescence sap. Inflorescence sap is a very good tonic But then after that, you can make it as a sugar, make it as a amino acids, vitamins, and like that. Coconut kernels also used for various other purposes. So these are the food composition. Now, functional rings, energy, nutritional ring, health ring, wellness ring, welfare ring, social ring, sports ring. Next. Now, you see the pitiable condition. We feel proud. We feel proud that having a Coke bottle, and we feel proud. But then a situation is going to change. Within another few years, coconut water will be the dominant drink in the world. And now that all the big multinational companies are turning towards coconut water, and the coconut water usage is more, and that is going to be the health natural drink. So this situation will really change. The cosmeceutical products also we have, personal care products, cosmeceutical soaps and other things we have. The product diversification is one thing. Now you can see how product diversification can be from each part of it. These are all the hundreds of arts products which we can make. Hmm. Now you take the coconut water, maybe tender coconut water or matured coconut water, tender coconut water mixed with matured coconut water we can make. There are many products are possible. So the coconut water value chain is one area where we can do, so we can utilize. Now in the matured coconut water, bulk of the matured coconut water being wasted by the oil industries and many other industries. Now, global coconut water market, the US market alone I am showing, see how things are going on. Means even though US earlier says that coconut is bad for health, coconut oil should not be used, but the coconut water today is being largely used. The global coconut market is good. Tender coconut water, you see the Thailand coconut, they process and sell it. This is also sold. A Vietnamese girl is selling for her livelihood this coconut water. The CPCRI has developed a snowball coconut technology, which can be used in the star water. Put it and then give it for $5. It's people are willing to take it. So that the coconut sap, you can make nira, vinegar, sugar jaggery, beverage. Coconut sugar is highly priced things which are being now used. This is jaggery. These are some of the liquors which we can. Sri Lanka was making it. Coconut milk is another product which we can make many products. But then simply take the coconut milk like a milk from the milk cow, then packet it, distribute it to the hotels. Every marriage hall, about 50 to 100 liters of coconut milk for payasam and various curries are used. If that industry alone can develop, the coconut milk will have a very great price. And farmer, it can be a cottage industry also. No. So coconut milk powder, cream is made, and then coconut milk powder also is made. Coconut milk powder easy to carry, anywhere you can carry, and then mix it with the hot water, make a real coconut milk, and then you can use it. So these are some of the products from various other countries. Cheese and heart of the farm. The heart of the farm, the Philippines grow coconut under coconut for 2 3 years, and the third year during the Christmas period they cut it and sell this coconut heart. It's a very delicious thing. So the slices in brine solution, all will have to eat. So coconut meat, young coconut as well as mature coconut. Even in the Delhi market, in those days when I was in Delhi, in the bus stands, that dry coconut, put it in water in the bus stands, they will sell it if are eating. So coconut meat has got lot of products uses. The bal copra is the one that every Hindu family in the north would like to get and then give it to the sisters, and like that during Diwali and other festival period. So edible copra is also a growing industry within the country. North, south is producing, north is the market. Desiccated coconut industry, India is not concentrating on this. They buy and sell it from Sri Lanka and all. If this industry alone is going to take a reshape, and this will give you very great this thing. The chips is a very simple process. We can make it. Even our technology is available. Coconut board is also having, CPCRI is having this technology. So for munching, these chips is a high value nutritional food which is possible for this. There are umpteen number of snacks from Philippines, and then from various other. China has only 25,000 hectares in coconut, but then they are making the 100% of the coconut industry is self-made industry. Machineries, everything is self-made, and 100% is export-oriented. So this is what the coconut jam is a very nice jam. This is an Indian technology, imported technology used by an Indian farmer, miracle. I was used to have this coconut jam, very nice. And you can mix it water and serve as coconut water also. So coconut puddings, these are all very well seen in the American markets. The Thailand product, Indian product, and many other products are there. Chocolate industry, everywhere coconut is there. You add coconut add taste to the people. So this quick. So coconut milk, then repeat. Coconut oil. Even today, the highest imported exported material is the coconut oil. Whatever said and done, even that small quantity of oil we produce, that is the American market and other markets are very high for this. So the various products are possible. Next. The health aspect of the coconut oil has to be promoted. These are the various uses. In American market, if you see as a giant market or anything, there are hundreds of products of the high value products of the coconut, which is $5, $10, and like that. So it is possible. Next. Repeat it. Okay. Now repeat it. Okay. So somebody has written a book, Discover Coconut Oil. Oil of natural origin, saturated and stable, and these are very good profits. Next. Repeat. So these are many profit, many health benefits, and all that are there. So virgin coconut oil is a recent one, which may be about 10 to 15 years old, but then this is catching up market. If 1 ton of coconut oil is $1,000, a pure virgin coconut oil can fetch up $3,000. Organic virgin coconut oil fetch much more higher prices. So nutraceutical, pharmaceutical, and baby oil, massage oil, it is used. So the VCO market, USA market is high. VCO, the technology developed by Philippines, promoted by them, and even today they are the topmost people who are selling the virgin coconut oil. These are various. Yeah. The coconut sugar market is another upcoming market. 1 million tons per year you can sell the coconut sugar in this. So the upcoming market is coconut sugar. So this, the biodiesel, biofuel, engine oil, coconut oil is very good. I have seen next Thailand. This is in the Marshall Island. The vehicles are run, even the ship is run. So that is the coconut oil. Marshall Island purify it, filter it, and then use it in the offices, car, office, trucks, and all that. Husk has unlimited potential. So these are all the husk-based rough things which we can. The geotextile is one which is very, very important, and the soil conservation, erosion control. Even in the France, I have seen Paris on the roadside, on the both the side, preventing from the tar down, the erosion, preventing erosion, they are using it. So geotextile is one thing which has a great market in India as well as abroad. Next. Now, use of the cocoa peat, cocoa coir peat is used as a husk substrate in the floriculture and horticulture. It is also being done. So these are all the things that where we can use the floriculture. Grow bags are there, put the hole and then put the seed and then raise the crop. So various coir fiber. This is the soundproof system of coir fiber, noise and heat isolation. For Paris, the French companies are making from the Indian husk or Sri Lankan husk. Husk chips are also used for the many horticulture nurseries. So these are all some of the coir-based product. Mercedes-Benz car is using the low weight. So these are all the coir-based products. Cell as a cell gasifiers, alternate heat energy, activated circuit, and these are some of the products where you can see. Now, These are ornamental. Even India is making very fine ornamental of necklace and all that. So these are some of the, people like to have the ornamental, original, natural. So these are the natural. Even the sports gifts and other things are made by this cell. This is a screen, and then yeah, very many products are possible. Anything. This is a Fiji is making the sofa set, maybe 4,500 US dollar. It's a very great, good job that they are doing. Electrical post, instead of electrical post, you can use the coconut tree. Even for the TV antenna fixing, you can use. These are the wooden things, which, in root wilt affected area, hundreds and thousands of trees are cut, but then the wood industry has not developed. You can make many wood industries or products are possible. The doors, windows, floor mats, these are all our Indian Kerala artisans. Even the broomstick which we make next, $9 in American market. With this is for bed cleaning. In Indonesia, they make it next. For writing, this is $9 in American market. So these are things that ecotourism. Wherever you want to show a tourism, you only put a coconut in the picture. So ecotourism has got Kerala and even the Pacific Islands where the natural things are growing, coconut on the sides, which are. So then the threats and obstacles, we have a lot of threats: natural cheap substitute, escalating cost of production, competitive market share, non-uniformity in the standards, lack of technologies for value addition, shift from supply to demand. The supply chain and demand, that is a value chain that needs to be worked out. High cost for processing. So for processor, always way that my coconut costs more, so I cannot buy. So downstream products are limiting. The tariff structures need to be relooked into, probably made easy. Market promotional activity can also be the fires exposed and all that. When I was a chairman, the vinegar was not having a market. And the one exhibition where the Indian vinegar making, the Kerala vinegar making people were sent to Gulf countries for participating in an exhibition. After that, they are not able to meet even the requirement. So market promotional activity, identifying niche product for ethnic and other niche product for organic, linking farmers to the market as said by the professor. These are all the things that which we have to. The lauric acid market, lauric acid coconut oil is having a 12.8% increase market annually. And the lauric acid is one of the only two things we can get: coconut oil and palm kernel cake oil, palm kernel oil. So these things. But now the palm kernel oil is much more than the coconut oil production. Now the last point, antiviral, antibacterial, HIV virus, coconut oil, the best. We have cured. Some people have cured. Even in the one of the Samoa, Western Samoa, one organization, NGO organization, gives virgin coconut oil to the HIV patient. They have got cured. So that is the level. I used to tell that African countries which are suffering for the HIV and all that, the coconut oil can definitely play a role. So international trade, coconut oil, as I said, still remove. These are all some of the product where we can have the international market and other markets. Next. DCN, desiccated coconut, annually 9% growth. Fresh nuts. Fresh nuts nowadays are gaining importance. More fresh nuts are going from India and other countries, Sri Lanka. Coconut milk, 45% activated carbon. Activated carbon is another upcoming market where many countries are buying. Coir product, 8-fold increase. Coir does 100-fold increase. Increasing the processing efficiency, quality standard, matching with the international. This is what Professor also said, that matching with the international value chain. If we are able to do that. Brand naming is another one. Whatever you produce, put a brand name and then labeling. This contains this much. So these two things which are not receiving much attention, the attractive packages, and people are quality conscious. What they eat, they should know what they are eating. So this label give that what they are eating. Next. So these brand names have a great role. The 5-star chocolate, the brand name, the brand name gets Coke. Like these are the brand names. So collaborations strengthening the regional, national, international collaboration for research and development and marketing, and improving the international marketing. And this is a value chain which Professor has said about the we have made. This part I am not going to touch because my colleague has really prepare many value chain activities which he has to. So this is a Philippine model which value chain. So with this, I conclude. Value chain is an important, and with this, we can develop business opportunities are unlimited, and the coconut farmers, coconut consumers, coconut processing industries will get, and coconut industry will be always a sunshine industry. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor, for giving me an opportunity to present this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Rethinam, sir. It is it's a very important presentation which you brought it out. And after looking at your presentation, listening very carefully, that why in my introductory remarks, I brought out all the constraints and challenges and so on and so forth. When you given a complete world scenario, global scenario, what is really happening in coconut producing countries, how they have come out with a lot of value addition, why still we are concentrating only on selling only coconuts in the raw form? And I think this is a very area where you have given a lot of suggestions that why can't we have in one state, in one district, something like a coconut processing and technology park, so that the farmers can go and see everything in one place, in one mall, one factory, one area where all the coconut producing countries, even in India, all the states can come out very well that. So I think, thank you very much. Please stay with us. Let me invite Dr. Krishnakumar for his presentation. Let me invite him. Just 1 minute. Let me, Dr. Krishnakumar, can you adjust your camera properly? Okay.
Is it
Good.
okay?
Okay, fine. So I would like to welcome Dr. Krishnakumar. He is and his graduation and post-graduation in agriculture from the College of Agriculture, Velayani, Thiruvananthapuram, under the Kerala Agricultural University, and doctoral degree in agronomy from the Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore. He started his career as an assistant professor, Kerala Agricultural University, and worked in the state and central government services as assistant agronomist in Rubber Research Institute of India, and senior scientist, transfer of technology in agronomy and soil science in Indian Cardamom Research Institute, Idiki, and he later joined in ICAR as a senior scientist. And later he served as a principal scientist and head of ICAR-CPCRI regional station, Kayamkulam. Dr. Krishnakumar is an editor, Journal of Plantation Crops during 2006 and 2011, and currently functions as a member of editorial board of Current Science, a fortnightly research journal being published by the Current Science Association, Bangalore. He is a team member of outstanding interdisciplinary team research in agriculture and allied sciences for the biennium 2005-06 of ICAR, and a recipient of Oral Narasimha Swamy Award and fellow of Indian Society for Plantation Crops. He has edited 12 books and published more than 100 research and technical articles, and apart from contributing chapters in various books, technical bulletins, and popular articles. Dr. Krishnakumar, we had a global presentation from a practitioner, Dr. Rethinam, his national experience and international experience, and we would like to hear from you as an agronomist and also as a scientist, worked with the Central Plantation Crop Research Institute. And I was also quite impressed by your article on coconut value chain, which you have done it and published it under the project, World Bank aided projects. Over to you, sir, to talk on coconut value chain challenges transforming into opportunities. What India should do, how we can promote the income of coconut farmers, and why we should sell still only for vegetable purposes as a raw coconut. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Moni sir. Very good afternoon to all the participants. I am also thankful to Dr. Rethinam sir for giving me this opportunity to be associated with him in presenting the very important topic on coconut value chain challenges and transforming into opportunities in our country during this 75th year of independence. So I'm very happy that Professor has mentioned about the challenges in the coconut production, processing, marketing, etc. in some of the countries, as well as Dr. Rethinam sir has given very exhaustive information about the total production, productivity, import, export, and the possibility of value addition in various part of the crop. The very interesting part is that coconut is called as Kalpavriksha or the supermarket, nature supermarket, tree of life, etc., etc. It is just because that the entire part of coconut, say it is root or trunk or stem, stem, leaf, nut, you say any part, it is useful to the human mankind, either for food or fuel or feed or shelter or nutraceutical, pharmaceutical, and many other activities of the day-to-day life of the human being. So that's why it is called as Kalpa Vriksha. How I should move the next slide? Okay, do I have to change this slide? Hello. Okay, slide two, next slide. Yeah. There was a mention by Dr. Rethinam sir about the global coconut production scenario as well as marketing scenario. If you see that the various regions of the country, world, that is Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, things like that, you can see that over the years there is tremendous potential going up for over the years in the world coconut market. And if you see in Indian scenario, if you see 2.17 million hectare of land covers over 200 crores of nuts annually. But unfortunately, if you analyze, it can see that only 0.2% of the national export earning is coming from coconut. So that is probably one of the main reasons that the adequate attention is not being given by the government of India in the coconut, both in the research as well as the development or other activities. I am quite sure that based on the presentation what we are going to complete by maybe in another couple of hours or maybe in another hour, we will be in a position to highlight the specific importance of coconut in the Indian economy. Though the national export earning is very negligibly small, the benefit that can give to the farming community, millions of farmers of the coconut growing states of India, that you can see 2.17 million hectare of land is under cultivation. As Rethinam sir was just mentioning, unfortunately, around 50 to 75% of the trees are very old and their productivity is quite low. Unlike other plantation crops, say for example rubber, tea or coffee or even oil palm, we don't have any replanting program. That is one of the major bottlenecks in increasing the productivity. And Rethinam sir also mentioned about the requirement of planting material, huge requirement. But we are also not in a position to cater to the entire need of the planting community for the planting material. So we have to highlight the importance of production increase, community harvesting to meet the raw material requirement, then the modernization of coconut production so that we will get sufficient raw material for value addition and increasing the income of the farming community as well as the export earning of the country. So we have to, as there was a mention about collaboration, which I will be explaining it slightly more in detail. But it is not highly competitive. The main reason being that you see the vegetable oil market, palm oil, is giving very high yield, maybe 6 tons per hectare if you compare with the coconut, which is giving only 2 tons per hectare. In spite of the fact that the productivity potential of coconut can go even up to 400 nuts per tree per year. But unfortunately, the national average is quite low, and we are not in a position to pool the entire production together for the making the coconut industry very highly viable. So you can see that the decline in coconut production over the past decade. To increase and sustain the coconut production, we have to have comprehensive assessment of the current state of coconut production, in where Rathinam sir has given a very beautiful narration of that. So I am not going to do that. But as you see, if you go for value addition and marketing, etc., unlike other horticultural crops, coconut is not gaining that much importance and emphasis because people are getting very low price. If you say, for example, in Kerala, the present market price of an nut is to 15 to 20 rupees. But going for an integrated processing and marketing, branding, marketing in the international market, definitely there is a scope for going up to even 50, 60, or even 100 rupees per nut. But again, you can see that if the hybrid nuts are produced and the seedlings are raised and given to the farming community, a 50 rupee nut, a seed nut can go up to even 250, 300, even 500 rupees a seedling. So we have to think of how we can go for this low income to switch to other more profitable crops. Sometimes they are thinking of the fruit trees being. I have seen one report in newspaper today that farmer, since he is getting very low price of coconut, he is cutting trees of coconut and then probably planting new thing for other crops. This has happened in case of rubber in Kerala. So many farmers cut the rubber trees and went for coconut, thinking that coconut can get adequate price in the coming years. So unfortunately, the unforeseen situation in the production, marketing, processing scenario is not in favor of farmers taking up on a large scale. But then, as we could see that the higher nut price, even from 15 to 20 or even 50, 30, 40, 50, if we can enhance, definitely there is a possibility of farmers coming back to the production, processing, etc. So if you can just analyze coconut, if you see the entire part of nut is also highly useful, right from the husk, the fiber, the yarn, the shell, the kernel, the water, and whatnot. So each part of the nut can be highly productive and profitably used, so that the low volume, high value production could be achieved, and the farmers can increase their farm gate price, as well as the country also can gain the much foreign exchange. There was a mention that many traditional and non-traditional products are available. Coconut oil, copra, or the even Professor Moni was mentioning that why we are selling only raw nut. So raw nut, of course, it goes for the production of oil, but of late people are thinking of virgin coconut oil. If you go to supermarkets in foreign countries, there is a huge demand for virgin coconut oil. So non-traditional products like virgin coconut oil, coconut milk, desiccated coconut powder, and value-added products from coconut husk, coir fiber, cocoa peat, as well as shell-based products, etc., are also available in the national market. So if you just see the value chain, though there was a mention by Professor Moni about the value chain, we can, when you just scribble through or scan through value chain, it was the Professor Michael Porter introduced the technique of value chain in 1980s. So that it covers all the activities, a company that helps value to the final product. So if you see the coconut as a product in the beginning, raw material, and how it is transforming into the final product, say it is kernel or water or shell or anything like that. So how the entire stakeholders or how the entire actors in this value chain play the role very effectively, transparently, so that the consumers who consume the product get the satisfaction without losing its interest, as well as there is no problem of the environmental impact. Climate change will not be problem. Environmental pollution will not be problem. So what are all the ways and means how best we can think of increasing the profitability from raw material to the high value, that is the value chain analysis. So there are different links, as it was mentioned, that production to collection. The production is there one side, there was a mention that the harvesting is also not done properly. So unless you go for proper harvesting, simultaneous harvesting in a locality, for example, if there are 100 farmers in a block or even 200 farmers in a block, the entire harvest is done simultaneously so that there will be huge number of nuts available for any processing product, activity. So right from the farmer production, then collection, the large number of nuts, then going to the processing center, and again various value chain, and finally to the consumer who needs. Somebody may be requiring virgin coconut oil, somebody may be requiring coconut milk, somebody may be requiring desiccated coconut powder. So an integrated processing in the same setup itself, so that the different sets of consumers are satisfied by getting the product what they get. So the weaknesses are to be resolved and the opportunity for increasing profits are to be considered in value chain analysis. So there are a global as well as local perspective. As Professor was mentioning, in case we are thinking of export-oriented production, so the international quality standards are very strict and we should adhere to such quality standard. But when you go for local perspective, the local farmers or local consumers are may not be that much strictly following the same, but still the quality should not be compromised. So we can see that there will be a global as well as local perspective. Then the value chain actors that I told you, production, middleman, procurement, processing, marketing, etc., etc. So there should be a strategic alignment and coordination so that the policy initiatives of the government, whichever government is encouraging such value chain activities also is considered. So then the stakeholders should be champion upgrading strategy. For example, if the farmer is interested to increase his productivity, so various options, as Rethinam sir was mentioning, he should integrate in such a way that his production goes up, and so that sufficient raw materials are available for procuring and then processing into value addition, etc. So the entire stakeholding community as a whole should be involved and playing their exact role so that the value chain will be highly profitable. So there was, as I just mentioned, the coconut value chain is highly complex, extremely complex. From the roots to any part of the plant you can think of as a product, and you can, as it is mentioned, right from the primary producer to the value addition agencies and then marketing we should think of, and many more value chains would be thought of. So if you see, there are three aspects here, that horizontal relationship between the consumer and the stakeholders, so that there will be proper production, branding, etc. There again can be horizontal relationship between the producing country stakeholders, and if in case you are thinking of exporting, one should be considering the vertical relationship between such stakeholders. That is horizontal as well as vertical linkage should be there in value chain analysis. So this is highly, extremely complex. So if you think of one product, for example, the husk, various products could be produced in the same factory itself, so that the consumer's requirement could be met. So it is highly complex, and unless otherwise an integrated processing, which I will be explaining in detail later, are not planned, it will not be highly successful. So there was a mention by a professor about the National Agriculture Innovative Project funded by the Indian Council of Agriculture and the World Bank, which was run in the Kasaragod district. When we analyzed the problems in the value chain, we could see that adequate production was not possible or not forthcoming. So we thought of finding out what are the missing links, and then how we can introduce interventions and what will be the outcome. So if you see the production level, the national average itself is low. Then added to that, Kerala average was around 40 nuts. So unless we increase from 40 to even 80 or 100, it will not be possible. So the missing links could be sufficient production, uninterrupted supply of raw material, then shortage of skilled climbers, etc. So we thought that adequate interventions at every step are required so that sufficient production is possible, as well as the farmers also getting a remunerative price for their produce at the farm gate level. So, adequate interventions were incorporated into the process, and finally the farmers could achieve the goal for increasing production. Then processing. So once the sufficient raw materials are available, it should go for processing. So we analyze again the missing links, interventions, and expected outcome. We could see that we considered 3 or 4 products only. The most important thing being the virgin coconut oil, then scaling up of the coconut chip production, as well as the utilization of coconut water. Otherwise, it is being wasted even in a DC factory. Then the efficient use of the coconut shell. These 4 components we thought of going for increasing the value chain. And in each case, we identified what could be the intervention for VCO production, what should be the most appropriate method. Even the household level production could be done by the farming community in a farmer producer level or cluster based approach. Then coconut chip production, what are the approaches, farming machinery, etc. Then the requirement of the self-help groups, etc. Then coconut water, instead of wasting it, how best we can think of soft drink as well as the vinegar production. Then coconut shell, the activated carbon as well as shell charcoal, how best we can think of. Then again in processing, another aspect, this next aspect was the coconut husk. So whenever we go for production of coconut, as I told you, every part could be used, be it nut or leaf or any other part. So husk also we thought of coconut coir with composting. Instead of wasting, the farm level composting could be done so that quality organic manure could be produced. Then shelf life of a tender coconut water, how best, because immediately after it is exposed, it gets spoiled, gets contaminated from the external sources. So how best we can think of increasing the shelf life. So such activities were considered. And for again, finally, the marketing strategy, what should be the present situation or scenario of the marketing, availability of materials in the market, how best we should improve the quality of the produce, etc. And the farmers also, the consumers also should be made aware that such product is available from Indian Indian farmers as well as producers. Make in India, the concept should be highlighted so that awareness should be created, and they should be willing to go for procuring or producing or using such products. So in the final, once the project was implemented successfully with the combinations of stakeholders like farmers, then the technological interventions by the Central Plantation Crops Research Institute, as well as the Defense Food Research Laboratory for the value-added products, as well as then the Kerala Forest Research Institute for Shell. We could see that there is sufficient improvement in production and farmers were happy. The raw materials were available in sufficient quantity, the processors were happy, and the technological developments took good take place, and that way ready-made technologies or technological interventions could be made possible, and finally the value chain could be successfully completed. So that was the successful one of the stories of value chain interventions by the Plantation Crops Research Institute. I'm very happy that Professor could see the presentation in one of the research papers. Then, so when we think of conceptual framework of value chain in other countries, if you see, as I just told you, supply chain. So the market should be sufficiently made available with the raw material. So the farmers, laborers, government support should be there. And then processing, the processes, workers, of course, there will be large number of people, job opportunities will be there. Then NGOs will be there. Again, private companies as well as government support should be there. Then marketing, brand name should be there, retailers, traders, exporters, all joined together only. Then it should be productive and value addition is possible. And then trade is going very smoothly so that we can get the highest price from the international market. So the framework should not be broken at any point of time so that the value chain will be successful. And a sectoral analysis, if you see, again, one of my colleagues, Dr. Rajshekaran from the Plantation Crops Research Institute, he analyzed the sectoral framework of coconut in India, you could see that it was a weak state machinery. Though the government of Kerala involves in procurement of raw nut, it is not adequate enough that the farmers are feeling very unhappy. Their nuts are not properly procured at the most appropriate time. They are not getting the sufficient price. Then once they procure, how they can go for value addition is again a problem. So the state machinery should be vigilant and vibrant so that the farmers' aspirations are considered most or given the topmost priority. Then ineffective rejuvenation and decentralized production, especially in case of the nurseries, we are not able to get sufficient seedlings for the rejuvenation program. As I mentioned, that there is no proper replanting program as in case of other plantation crops. Then the research clusters, uh, uh, as we see that the South Indian states are the major producers of coconut. Kerala condition is different from other states. So plus, I mean, state-wise, regional-wise research priorities and approaches should have been there so that the state-wise production is also considered. So then, so various framework is analyzed, and then he could see that the production constraints, then the marketing constraints, value chain clusters, value chain upgradation, and then research intervention and points of intervention, etc., etc. He has suggested in a very beautiful manner, so that it will be possible in case we are thinking of the upgradation of value chain in India for various products, and this can be considered. Then, if you see information webinar, I'm sorry, what is that? Yeah, the relative Philippines is one of the topmost producing countries of coconut in the world. So, Rethinam sir was mentioning that they have more than 100 products, and most of them are being exported to other countries. Virgin coconut oil originated from Philippines only. Though Kerala, traditionally it was produced by our grandmothers in the households, but got prominence in the international market through interventions from Philippines. So each component of the coconut is considered in this value chain, so that finally the farmers will get the maximum profit out of the nut. So this is coconut value chain concept and structure. Again, you can see that the inputs, the production input should be one of the important criteria, so that the sufficient planting material, then fertilizer or other organic material for plant health management with respect to the pest and diseases. So sufficient inputs, timely availability should be there. Then technological intervention should be there so that the farmers are in a position to adopt at the appropriate time. Then production, as I just told you, how best the intervention should be there for increasing the production. Then primary processing, in case the farmers are interested in their household itself, they can go for primary processing, then advanced processing. In case high value products, low volume, high value products like coconut shell charcoal or activated carbon are thought of, they can go for that. Then of course marketing, how best the marketing should be considered, then the end to market. So these are all the various stakeholders considered by this coconut value chain in the structure. And if you see Dominican Republic, again, as I told you, that is input production, primary marketing, primary processing, secondary marketing. So an extensive study was done by one Abdul Samad and his co-workers during 2016 for various countries like Dominican Republic, then the various actors, how they play their role exclusively for the benefit of the farming community for increasing the farm gate price as well as farm income. Again, he has done extensive studies. Then Guyana is another country where he has studied the value chain. This is Jamaica's coconut value chain. Primarily, as I just told you, the various stakeholders should play their role exclusively for the interest, so that the better farm gate price as well as income is assured for the farming community. Then, if you see coconut production chain in Vanuatu, that United Nations CTID has done an extensive study. They could see that VCO they took as a component of the coconut production value chain. How the coconut is there from plantations, how it is procured, Then copra is made. It's another value chain going. Then from copra, they can go for coconut, virgin coconut oil, cooking oil, etc. Then the normal coconut oil is also there. Then crude coconut oil is there. Then heat processing, they go for high value products. So that even biofuel is also considered. So instead of thinking as a one component, one product, one part alone, go for high complex production processing and marketing, so that you will be in a position to get the best prices out of it. So in case of the Vanuatu coconut value chain, again, farmers associations are formed. Then they go for association with the traders and then exporters. Then farmers associations again with the processors. Then even coconut growers also can directly have link with the processor, and they can go for exporters. This production again, the exporter will be playing their role. So that government also should intervene and support in such a way that at any point of time the financial as well as technological interventions are required, are adequately met by the supporting agencies. Then Pacific Island, again, most of the things are coconut oil, virgin coconut oil, byproducts, then coconut water. Say any product, they can think of adding value to the chain, so that the ultimate goal of the value chain is achieved. Then analytical framework value chain in the Philippines, again, you can see how various components are integrated. Then Solomon Island is again another country where the coconut value chain is being considered on a large scale. Then you can see the major kernel processing of only 3 major products. So instead of copra and coconut oil, you can think of the desiccated coconut, dehusked coconut for a desiccated coconut powder and things like that. Then coconut milk is again a high value product. Various combinations could be possible. From the kernel, you can go for coconut milk again. That residue can be thought of high value product, protein production, etc. So as I just told you, any part could be exclusively made for value addition and value added change. Then if you go for vertical integration, as I told you, that could be horizontal integration as well as vertical integration. You can think of production from the right from the beginners, caretakers, then primary monitoring unit of nucleus gardens, etc. Finally, for export, domestic market should be combined, for international market should be thought of, so that you will be in a high best position. Then Philippines has done exclusive studies on coconut coir value chain. One researcher, Costels, has done extensive studies on coir value chain in coconut in Philippines during just 2 years ago, by taking the results of 113 entrepreneurs. They were engaging 8,500 workers. You can see inputs and basic processing, secondary processing, trading, marketing. So various high value products just from the coconut husk, convert it into coir, and then high value products could be developed in such a way that it is possible. Then Caraga coconut, that is coconut fiber value chain, again, that South Asia and the foundation has done analysis. You can see how beautifully the coconut value chain analysis is going on in various products. Coconut sugar, Rethinam sir was mentioning that the inflorescence sap could be converted into coconut sugar, then collecting the coconut inflorescence sap, then removing the moisture, then transforming into coconut sugar, crushing, and then packaging. So that can also be considered as important component in the value chain analysis. And then market chain for what is it? Coconut wine. Sorry, coconut wine. That farmer how coconut wine can be produced and then marketed. The best way of getting the highest net return from the community. So this is an analysis how best the various agencies should be linked in the value chain analysis and getting the best price out of the nut what they produce. Then the marketing channel analysis was also done for the husk-based products in the Philippines. You can see that farmer producer is again farmer produce how copra is taken. Finally, how the consumer up to that level it's going. So various processing steps, that is copra oil, how it is there. Then the bale husked coconut, how it is going, so that we'll be in a position to understand how the various countries are engaged in value chain analysis and getting the best price. Then, if you see again, the interventions should be there for various agencies, for the international organization, how the manufacturers should be there, how the government organizations, that is Ministry of Agriculture, that is information flow should be there, so that the latest technological advancements are made available to the farming community. Then the processes, the machineries being updated or even upgraded, and then branding, packaging, branding, so that even export, how best we can pack and export, so that the final aim should be getting the best price of it. This I just want to skip because already Rethinam sir has made a mention about this value chain analysis for various products. Then coconut oil, virgin coconut oil, how this is the technology what we did for the National Agriculture Innovation Project, the fermentation of virgin coconut, coconut milk for virgin coconut production, so that the recovery as well as quality of virgin coconut is the best. Then how the self-help groups, the women members were repairing the coconut, and then machineries were developed by the institute, and then the virgin coconut oil cooker, how the fermentation was going on, so that virgin coconut oil is produced. Then coconut meat residue, once the oil is milk is extracted from the grated coconut, we get the residue, meat residue. That also could be used for making various products. We have made the confectionaries in our own laboratory, so that no part is left unused. Then kernel processing, the most successful business activity should be considered, so that you will be getting. I was mentioning that instead of copra or raw nut, one should think of the entire integrated business model as a whole, so that you will get the best out of it. Once you dehusk the nut, you can go for fresh nut, and then extraction for coconut water. Then you can go for a single strength coconut water. Then if you go for evaporation, that is concentrated coconut water. That is one aspect. Then this husk coconut can be thought of husk and then coir. Finally, carbon can be considered. Then again, nut can go for copra and then oil. Then extraction of milk, so that you can go for coconut milk or even virgin coconut oil. So if you get a nut in your processing factory, various products should be conceived in such a way that no part is wasted. Even the coir pith can be thought of composting or even other products made out of it. Some of the industry issues, and we can think of that. I was mentioning that the oil yield from palm oil, oil palm is the highest if you consider the vegetable oils in compared to coconut. You will get only 2 tons per hectare, whereas palm oil can go even up to 6 tons per hectare. So the competitive pressure from palm oil is very high in India. Though their government policies are different, but still we get a lot of palm oil in our country. People are going for that, which is slightly cheaper. But there is a biofuel demand. Rethinam sir was mentioning that Philippines has taken a huge step in going for coconut oil as biofuel, that at least 25% should be, 2% biodiesel should be with coconut oil, etc. So that it has some silver line in the dark. Husk value chain, you can think of various products. That is geotextile, coir pith, board, etc., etc. There was some mention by Rethinam sir. Then again, cocoa pit, other coir products should be considered. If you just see dealing with cocoa pit, definitely possibilities are there, so that you can think of various products. When I just scanned through the literature, I could I could see that India as well as Sri Lanka are the major manufacturers of coconut husk-based products, and one of the important enterprises or entrepreneurs is in Sri Lanka, that is Tropic Coir. They are the most important world-leading pith business with a joint venture-led business model. That is, they have tropical international euro substrates and grow right substrate. So they go for innovative and advanced production techniques. Various products are there. So they source the material from India, Sri Lanka, and Dominican Republic. Instead of sourcing a material from India, why can't we think of ourselves as production of these value-added products from the coir? That should be our approach. Then that is in the Philippines, again, cocoa green technologies. The most important feature of this is that 60% of the revenue paid is to the producer families and communities. So instead of they take the advantage of the revenue realized, they share with the farming community so that they are also happy and they could give the material very happily. That should be the approach. Some of the constraints we could analyze. You can see that in coir pith or cocoa coir, husk procurement is slightly difficult because even in households, you may be getting or 50 or 100 nuts a month or once in 2 months. So for household use, you may be using 1 nut per day or even half a nut per day, so that you will not be getting sufficient husks unless otherwise, as I just mentioned earlier, the community harvesting.
Dr. Krishnakumar, can you adjust your camera? Can you adjust?
It's going down. Anyway, if I just do more adjustment, I cannot see the frame. Anyway, so husk procurement is slightly a problematic thing, but you should think of community harvesting. Then processing. There are in Kerala, traditionally they were going for wet processing. Again, it was a problem for environmental pollution, etc. So the decorticating machines are available, but the efficiency of such machines are not that high. Then again, marketing. Once the fiber is made, how best you can think of marketing. Otherwise, you should go for value addition, geotextiles or matting, etc., etc. So then shell-based products are many. There was some slides by Rethinam sir. Then activated carbon, instead of simply wasting the shell. Of course, there is a possibility of handicraft craft making, etc. But the chance of getting high-value products is very less because human skill is more highly important. Whereas in case of activated carbon, it is very important that we go for high-value production of activated carbon. Luckily, the coconut shell can give very beautiful activated carbon. Hales Export and HECARB is a Sri Lankan multinational company. They go exclusively for this activated carbon and shell charcoal. Of course, in our National Agriculture Innovation Project at Kasaragod, we made a beginning in this program and it was successful, but it has to go a long way for reaching the farming community. So then this is the flow chart for the flora charcoal, how they are using it, the coconut shell, carbonizing, cooling, etc. So this value chain is highly efficient so that you can think of going for such value additions. This factory is our Kasaragod one. The various products should be made, so exported. We can think of exporting the value-added products. If you see the world export of coconut shell charcoal in 2020, it was 293,000 metric tons, of which Indian share itself was about 37% of the activated carbon was 278,000 metric tons, of which Indian share was about 1 lakh ton, that is around 37%, and we could get 1,18,460 million rupees. So huge potential is there. Instead of wasting our this product, we can think of value addition and then go for shell powder. Even think of shell powder and coconut sugar, as there was mentioned, tapping the inflorescence and getting the sap and going for value addition in coconut sugar and jaggery. The most important advantage of this is that the glycemic index, if you see, coconut sugar has only 30, whereas the palm sugar is 35. Even the white sugar, what we consume normally from sugarcane, is having a glycemic index of 80. So very efficiently, we can think of converting the inflorescence sap into coconut sugar. Only thing is that there should be adequate production potential and things like that. The tapper should be there, collection should be efficient, and then processing should be efficient. And then market is also huge potential. It's estimated 5 to 6% in the next 3-4 years in the international market. And then, as I just mentioned you, as in case of coconut husk value chain, in case of coconut sugar also, there are problems like raw material procurement, then processing, marketing, then support services, etc., etc. So unless we address these constraints, it will not be possible for large-scale production of coconut sugar and value chain. This I have already. Okay, shall I go for the next set, sir? This is my first set.
Quickly run through and summarize it, because
it will be done.
You don't have to explain, you can run it, and then
it will be
you
done.
can skip 1 or 2 slides and you can finish it then.
That's what I am planning. Slides.
Today webinar series was able to bring out the complete, a SWOT analysis, not only with respect to India and abroad. I think it gives a lot of, experience due to today's presentation. Please join. Hello?
Press star to copy this song for free. For unlimited free. Hello, he joined? Yeah.
I'm just told as a guest user, you can upload up to 2 slide decks. Please log in or sign up for free to upload more.
So okay, that's okay. You can summarize it. You can.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. I will just minimize this and then see my value chain slides for my computer and then just to speak. In brief, you can see that there is a possibility of various parts of coconut being used. Say it is meat or milk or shell or husk, even inflorescence sap, etc., etc. So various value chain components are being discussed in my presentation. And in my subsequent slides, I have surveyed and given a lot of emphasis on the problems being faced by various stakeholding components like the farmer producers, and then the procurement agencies, then processors, and then finally the marketers. So various challenges being faced by these organizations or these stakeholders, and how best we can think of addressing various challenges, and then opportunities exist in case of each of the product. So in summary, what I should say is that the level of local industry strategic alignment will determine inclusive and sustainable growth. So the thing is that right from the production to the procurement to processing to the market, so the level of involvement will be most important thing. And the learning industry will be a major driver for competitiveness. Of course, as I just told you, one should understand what is the requirement of the international market, their standards, etc., etc., and be competitive so that you will be still in the market internationally. So the thing is that it is not the largest or most well positioned that will succeed. Though of course there are internationally acclaimed agencies, as I just told you, in Philippines or Sri Lanka. It is the most responsive to the change. One should not be rigid and I will go only like this. So one should be thinking of always changing so that you will be in a better position to get into the international market and be competitive. So this is in brief. One should think of getting into the international marketing channel. The coconut growers should be well targeted, move quickly to a high value industry so that one will be always competitive. So this is in brief, and I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Moni as well as Dr. Rethinam sir for giving me this opportunity to be part of this webinar series of the
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Krishnakumar. Can I also request Dr. Rethinam sir to join, to come to the foreground? Mr. Manish, can you connect him? And then Mr. Nambudri is also there on the background. Can you also connect them so that, let me get some feedback from him. So it is very nice if Mr. Dr. Rethinam sir, are you joining? Can you come to the foreground? So it is very important presentation. I think there is, Mr. Manish, can you put the remarks given by Mr. Ashwini Kumar? Can you put it, flash it once again? Mr. Manish? Okay. It's very nice that, I think our keynote speaker, Dr. Rethinam, and our guest speaker, Dr. Krishnakumar, during the last 2 hours, they were able to give the complete scenario behind the coconut and coconut-related industries. And I have not, I think it is more than what I would have asked for it. They're given from their vast experience that how the India can, get into the global value chain. When you look at it, so many products which they were able to do it. I think the whole one would have been made it as I will try to convert as a 15 minutes video based on this presentation, and it will be very good, study material, promotional material for our coconut producers. I think it is a very important thing that when you look at it, various commodities, various development which is going on, but still the thing is that India's export earning is only 0.02%. And I think as a man who don't own any land, but we have a lot of passion for the agriculture related things, that I thought, let me do investment through knowledge. And I'm feeling that, we have to have a lot of other extra, march towards the coconut producing community, to see to that you have everything on the hand and everything on the land. And let the tree is the tallest tree, let us also become the tallest people. You should be the wealthiest people in the country. And I would like to hear from our Mr. Nambudri. He's joining from his house, and so we would like to hear from you very shortly, because it is we have got the 30 minutes more than the allotted time. And please tell us that, after listening to my introductory remark, and Dr. Rethinam and Dr. Krishnakumar, and they have put it in the highest pedestal, that how coconut related things should be there. There has to be a one vertical, one coconut related portal, a value chain should be operational in this country, with the 22 constitutionally recognized language, so that all the multiplicity has to be removed. Prime Minister has come out with an idea, Prime Minister's Gadi Shakti. It means that all silos, vertical silos, has to be networked, it should be made interoperable. So how to bring in PM Gadi Shakti in the coconut industry? Over to you, sir, Mr. Nambudri.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be participating in this webinar on coconut value-added products, because it is very dear to many of us working on coconut. And it was so nice to listen to these two speakers who have, as you said, correctly elaborated and described the situation. Now, we have been talking about coconut value addition for a long time, because we produce a lot of coconuts and there's an increasing demand globally, but the farmers do not get a remunerative price. And we thought that coconut-based products marketing is the best solution for this. Even coconut oil was suffering from the fluctuating market, mainly because of the wrong propaganda about the oil. As Dr. Rethinam said, it is the doctors who are to be educated on this, so that they will give the correct advice rather than wrongly give instructions to the patients. One of the problems faced with the processing unit is that the farmers tend to raise the price of the coconut. Once they know that the unit is dependent on them, they have a tendency to increase the price, thereby stating the economics of the processing unit. Even the technology for packing and transporting tender coconut water under low temperature has not gained enough importance and has not been practical. So the two speakers have, of course, enlisted a large number of products. All of them are important. Some of them are more important. Some of them are not practical. But considering the complexity of the problem, I think the national and international agencies have to step in very seriously to tackle these issues, so that the industry flourishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And it is very important. So let me put it, after listening to both Dr. Rethinam as well as Dr. Krishnakumar, and a man who is involved in coconut farming. I think a coconut value chain in India, connecting all the farming community who are involved in coconut, as a commodity, it is essential. And with it, under the Digital India program, it has to be there, connecting all the people in through their local languages and associated industries and so on and so forth. One common, coconut portal value chain, and also get connected with the global value chain. And there has to be every possibility that if a farmer has got 100 coconut tree, if he wants to develop things and get globalized with the global value chain, the country should facilitate that benefits, that farmer. And then only that, our Indian economy, irrespective of whether it's a smaller or a large scale farmer, will be in a position to bring it new innovation. I would like to quote an article and a speech by Dr. Jebamale Vinanji Arachi. He was the former principal advisor to the Director General UNIDO. In this webinar series, we talked about this is an era for open innovation and value creation network in a digitalized world for self-reliant economy. And coconut as a commodity, as a it's a value chain, it fits into that. There are a lot of things are happening, but the thing is that it is our Indian export earning is it is 0.02% as per the presentations given. And experts are here. Let us try to prepare an approach paper. I requested Mr. Namboodiriji also to join with Dr. Krishnakumar and Dr. Rethinam, and we five of us will be in a position to prepare an approach paper for the coconut value chain in this country to be integrated with the global value chain, to bring in maybe within another 5 years from now. And how to do that? India is emerging as a digitalized economy, and digitalized India. Why not coconut value chain digitalized? And identify every coconut farmer and people who are involved in the coconut related industries value chain to be networked. So I would like to have a final word from Dr. Rethinam, is the keynote speaker, and another final word from Dr. Krishnakumar, and then I will thank the team which was associated with this organizing today's event, and then we will close the webinar. Over to you, sir, Dr. Rethinam. Final word.
Thank you very much, Professor.
What Professor Moni should do?
Yeah, the final word has come from you, right? The global value chain integrated with Indian value chain, and then how we can get the benefit from the global value chain to the Indian value chain, and what are the ways and means that we have to implement to get it done. In this connection, I wanted to tell you that, I was thinking any small island, you take it, it can be made as the value chain that can be prepared. Everything can be possible for them to produce within themselves. This idea came to me long back when I was ED. In the beginning, there are Pacific countries, each country is having 20, 30 islands. The transporting of coconut to the main island and then exporting to other, and then getting the oil from them and all the carpet, this thing, everything from them instead, and the petrol also from them. So we can make it as a self-sufficient, self-reliant things through the value chain. So as you rightly said, a status paper can definitely be prepared and then indicate that who should do what, and to implement to the coconut grower as well as even the consumer. The consumer has to be still to be educated, as rightly said by Namboodiriji. Many times he try to react to the doctor, but they don't bother about that. Still coconut. Your wife will say, no, don't take coconut chutney. It is not good for health. So don't touch coconut. So that stage has to change. If you want to do it, yes, probably Prime Minister has to give a look into this. We have to draw the attention, as you have right said, that the advisor agree. He also should be.
Yeah, very nice that it is appropriate. And I had a detailed discussion with the Professor Ramesh Chand. He's also, watching these programs whenever he finds time. And let us prepare an approach paper. And, it is even in IT side, it is happening. Technologists are bringing it, and the regulators are opposing technology introduction. You can see that, this is, crypto technology, these Bitcoins. And Supreme Court has taken a different view, and RBI has taken a different view. And this is very important that there are a bit of war between regulators and the technologists. So we have to take a path with respect to Indian agriculture. If India is an agrarian economy, every aspect of Indian agriculture system has to be digitalized. Doesn't matter. All obstacles, challenges, we convert all the challenges as the opportunities. I'm very happy that the title which is given by Dr. Rethinam is that converting challenges, transforming challenges into opportunities. And this is when how to bring in all the smallholder farmer getting into the value chain. So with this, I would also like to hear the final statement from Dr. Krishnakumar. Then I will close the webinar. Dr. Krishnakumar.
Well, thank you, sir. I was mentioning that the export earnings from coconut and coconut-based products to the total revenue generated in India is 0.2%, not 0.02%, 0.2%.
2%.
There is ample opportunity that it can slowly increase. This is over the years. So slowly increase from 0.2 to 1% at least. Because as there was mentioned that millions of coconuts are being produced in our country. But unfortunately, the expected value addition and value chain analysis has not taken place so far. So this is the right time that we think of the status paper or approach paper, etc., so that the government of India will consider giving more emphasis for this important value chain. Of course, leave alone the coconut oil. There are still controversy going on. But my wife is a doctor, but still I use a lot of coconut. But that is a different issue. So other value-added products should be given prominence. One thing, not think of this oil alone. So there is a possibility potentially exists in our country, and we are the topmost area productivity, etc. of coconut in the world. So, but unfortunately, the thing is that it's all scattered, mostly in homesteads, way of cultivation, etc. So there should be a proper community level of harvesting, procurement, processing, and then marketing. So international demand should be considered and then going for that. So one small thing is that Lakshadweep Island is exclusively can be thought of this kind of integrated processing of coconut, and that is the right place. No fertilizers are being used, so traditionally they are cultivating. There is no scientific approach in cultivation of coconut, but still they are one of the most highly productive union territories of India. That is mainly because moreover that ecosystem service rendered by coconut to that island is also very unique. So we can think of the Lakshadweep Island as a model for integrated farm processing of coconut and value addition. So once again, small thing is that this government of India has declared the formation of 10,000 FPOs, one district, one product program. And Kerala as well as Tamil Nadu, Karnataka are getting a lot of farmer producer organizations exclusively for coconut or even coconut as a part of the ODOP. So let us hope that such FPOs will give more emphasis to the entire value chain for coconut and come up with more importance to the coconut farming community as a whole and that region in particular. So thank you very much, sir, for this.
Thank you very much. I think with the final round of discussions, one is that Lakshadweep as a targeted island, and that let us join together, prepare an approach paper. My request is let us prepare an approach paper, and we will move through the Lakshadweep administrator, and also from the Home Ministry and the Minister of Agriculture. And it is a very important final statement which has come. And Professor Rethinam also was telling that Pacific Islands, and let us process from an island if it has got an coconut trees, why to transport as a raw material. It's a good idea.
Yeah,
and Dr. Krishnakumar has picked it up. And I have also visited both Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep. Lot of potential, but processing industries are not there. And we have to bring it. Like for example, like coconut, tuna fish on Lakshadweep Sea, Arabian Sea, we are not even exploited, not even 15%. Tuna fish, whereas neither these Nordic countries, that is Netherlands and other countries, that the fish like Solomon goes to 120 countries. And so in our groups, I have motivated, I have now have a fisheries informatics network value chain, one tuna fish from western coast, and another fish from Hilsa from Bay of Bengal. We should have a value chain. So I think it's a thank you very much, Dr. Krishnakumar, to consider Lakshadweep as a total processing for coconut integrated farming and industry. and we will prepare that proposal in collaboration with all of you. And sorry, as a very important pilot project, let us, through this webinar series, let us do that. And we will also involve ORDO, because India is also a member country of ORDO, and we'll be in a position to have, if any pilot projects are needed, we'll be also can approach ORDO for project development. So with this, I would like to thank you very much. But as I said it, that it is a very important area. We will have this international webinar series exclusively on coconut, under the chairmanship of both of you, both Dr. Rethinam and Dr. Krishnakumar, and the Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies, 5 centers of excellence of the Shobhit University. Let us promote coconut value chain as a global value chain from India. Let us take that effort. With this, I would like to thank Mr. Manish Chabra, who has organized this one. He's from the co-learning platform from the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology. And today, I am organizing this program from the NIC District Center, Kulbarga, in the, Dharwad. I'm on a visit to University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad. I delivered a talk yesterday in the national, conference on food security systems and so on and so forth. And today I have it, and I thank the District Informatic Officer, National Informatics Center, and Additional District Informatic Officer, National Informatics Center, the Dharwad, and the State Informatic Officer of NIC State Center, Bangalore, and the Director General, National Informatics Center for giving this facility, to run the program from, Dharwad, the state of Karnataka. And I will be very happy to conduct this program, from different parts of the country, so that it is always not only from Delhi. And, that is very important. And also, I would like to thank Honorable Chancellor of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, His Excellency, Secretary General Ordo, and the Honorable Vice Chancellor and faculty members for, facilitating me to run this program without any break on a weekly basis. Thank you very much for joining. And this program is normally for 1.5 hours, but today we are able to, spend time on 2 hours, 28 minutes. And it shows that how much concern we have. And let us have it with an approach paper. Let it go to Prime Minister's Office and Niti Aayog and the Minister of Agriculture through the Honorable Chancellor of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. With this, we close the webinar and leave the studio. Thank you very much.
A small request. If there is any, sir, Mani sir.
Yes.
If there is any guideline for preparation of such a status paper or approach paper.
No, we will discuss. Our
that's all.
Diploma is there, Dr. Rethinam.
You are muted. You are muted.
Unmute.
We can make an outline and then try to see that, discuss, and then go. Maybe within 6 months' time or even less.
No, we will make a 2-page, based on today's one, we'll make about a 5-page note. We will send it to Dr. Ashok Dalwai, Chairman of the Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 Committee. And he also is a patron of this webinar series, and he takes a lot of interest. And so let us make a 5-page note, and then we will send it to from the university to the Prime Minister's Office and the Niti Aayog. It will be very important. Then afterwards, we will formalize this working group effectively with Dr. Krishnakumar and Dr. Rethinam and Mr. Nambudiri and Mr. Balasubramaniam. He is then very, it is industrialist and also running a coconut farmer produce organization from, from Namakkal district, Tamil Nadu. And also we will interact with all the coconut farmer produce organization in the country.
Correct, sir.
Very important. Very important. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll leave the studio. And thank you.
So anyway, it went on well.